There have been seasons where God feels so near, and I'm so sure of what He's asking me to do. And there have been seasons where it has been silent. And that is hard. And I was not sure what to do. And when I didn't know what to do, I just kept saying yes. And there's been postpartum depression, and there's been anxiety, and there's been all these things. But as we've all kept showing up for each other, the Lord has used it to change us and convict us and challenge us. And every time we lean in, He shows up and He shows off. And we are just so grateful to be a part of it. Hi, I am Cassie and I am from Shawano, Wisconsin, and I've been a part of If Gathering for 9 years. I found If when I saw a video conversation with Rebecca Lyons and Jenny Allen. They were talking about women in the church and how their desire was just to be right with the Lord. Like Jenny wanted to serve God no matter what that meant, and just it was so beautiful. And man, it just spurred me on in a season that I was wrestling with what is my place in ministry. I was a new Christian and I was on staff at our church. I had just started working as the office manager. I was new and I didn't know what it meant to be a woman in ministry in the church. And I knew I had things and dreams and gifts that I wanted to use, but I had no idea what that might look like. And so when I saw this video of Jenny talking about using her gifts for the glory of God and good of others, it just like lit my soul on fire. And then I Googled her name and I found If Gathering, and pretty quickly the Lord was like, Cassie, I think you need to do this. In your local, invite your women, be brave. As a new believer, feeling like I was supposed to do something in this way was so intimidating. I had never even been to a women's conference, let alone hosted one. And so I just prayed. I went, actually, it was in our church mom's room, and got on my knees day after day and was like, Lord, are you really asking me to do this? And I couldn't shake it. And so I gathered friends. I sent them a clip of Jenny sharing, and I said, hey, do you want to be a part of this? And so many said yes to this crazy thing that we couldn't even describe what it was going to be. We had no idea. And they said yes. And that first year, I remember begging people to come because nobody knew what it was. And it was so scary because we wanted to be obedient and we wanted people to come, and we didn't know what that was going to look like. And so when people started showing up that night, it was incredible that they would trust us with this weekend just because we said yes to this thing that we didn't know if we had the gifts or the skills or the ability, but we just did it. That first night, I will never forget standing in the back of that room, watching women worship literally to a scream, and just like knowing that was what I was supposed to do, that I was supposed to be brave and do it afraid, and even do it when there were people who didn't want us to do it. Not everyone is going to be excited, but there were enough of us excited, and we said yes, and we did it. And to see women respond and worship, and some of those same women, now 9 years later, they are leaders in our church, and they are sharing Jesus, and they are making an impact. And it's just incredible to see what a few of our yeses have done. It's so fun. Yeah. I don't think there's anything better than gathering with my people in my place. There is something special that happens when you get to see someone take a faith step, or you get to see a friend maybe pray out loud for the first time and be brave, or you get to see somebody like express themselves in worship for the first time because they feel safe in this different environment. Like that is what If Local has meant to our women in our place. And so it has just been it's been so incredible to see those faith steps. I think the other part that is so special about If Local, about gathering with my people in my place, is that when Jenny makes us confess, like she often does, um, those people aren't going away. When we confess hard things to people that we will see at the coffee shop or we will see at the grocery store, they are there with us and they love us, and we walk through pain and suffering together. If I could go back 9 years to younger Cassie. Goodness, I'm so proud of her for being brave, for saying yes, for doing this thing when it felt hard, even when things didn't go as planned, even when that first live stream went 2 hours late and we did not know what to do. Like, I would just tell her I'm proud of her, and I'm so glad she said yes, even when she literally had no idea what she was doing. It was so worth it. It was so worth it. It was worth it then. It's worth it now. This thing that started as, like, this tiny little dream that the our church was like, Sure, you can host it here, like, that's fine." I think we even, like, literally paid the church for, like, use of the projector because, like, they didn't know what it was, and now literally every year they're like, "You're gonna do IF, right?" Because they've seen it's not just an event. They have seen women step out in faith to serve and to steward their gifts and to use their gifts in the church for the glory of God and good of others. It is absolutely incredible. Our If women did not necessarily lead the charge because what is beautiful about the body of Christ is that all of us participated, but as we started talking about Gather and dreaming about Gather, we knew we wanted a different demographic at the table. We knew we wanted men at the table. We wanted people who were passionate about the globe, about Christians all over the world, and what it would look like to worship together. And so that's always been for me the dream of building a team. How do we get people who are passionate about this thing? And it was beautiful how the team for Gather came together in that they were so passionate about prayer and gathering and seeing the global church come together. And there was definitely some overlap, but it was cool to see again these vehicles give local communities an opportunity to gather, to worship, to use their gifts. There's sometimes so few opportunities for people within the church to stretch, maybe beyond what they're used to. And so to have a space and a place to lead, to shepherd, uh, and to me, most importantly, what we have learned is it's really all up to the Lord. Like, we pray and we plan and we prepare, but the thing that has changed me the most, and I think our team, is like, it is really up to the Lord what He's gonna do in that space, and He has been so kind and so good. Um, the last time we hosted, I had the amazing opportunity to share the gospel with that whole room. And, you just pray for the one. You pray for the one, and like half the room stood up. Like, that doesn't happen without a scared yes. And so I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for a team that depends on the Lord and truly prays more than we plan. So when I think about 9 years ago and the women around me, they're incredible and beautiful and they were great friends. But what the Lord has done in these last 9 years, like, these are sisters now. And they're not just sisters because 'cause they're good friends, they're sisters because, like, we battled together. We have fought over ribbons together. Man, we've debated how things are gonna go, and there's just something so special when you work together on something, and you have to walk through conflict, and you have to be for each other no matter what, because the Lord is there, and He's kind, and the enemy can come to kill, steal, and destroy, and we have to battle. And so now I get to see these women use their gift mix. Just last weekend, we had our volunteer meeting. And one of the leaders who's been on the team almost the whole time, she led that. And to see her steward that moment so well, it has made us realize how important it is to be with Jesus. So when we're with others, they get to be with Jesus too. One of my favorite things to think about and see what Jesus did was there's been a number of If Locals that started because they came to our If Local and they realized, man, I can do this. I can take this back to my community. I can do it in a community center or I can make it happen in my church, and they're hosting and they're doing it afraid too. And so if you can say yes, and if you can take that step, how the Lord can use it in your own community, in your own place, That is my favorite, and I just pray that, man, would women just be brave? Would they just say yes? After 7 years of hosting, I was able to come here. I was able to come to its gathering in Dallas, and I was so excited. Like, this thing that I love, now I was gonna get to be in the room, and it was so special, and it was so good. If I'm honest, I was expecting, like, women to encounter Jesus, but that's our hope, right? What I didn't know the Lord was gonna do is see families changed, like, families restored, prodigals coming home, marriages healed. I had no idea. I was I was so hopeful the Lord would meet with people in special ways, but I had no idea the freedom that women would experience and the trickle down effect to their families and their homes and their churches. It has just been such an honor to get to be a tiny piece of that. I think one of the honors of doing this for so long is the different seasons. There have been seasons where God feels so near, and I'm so sure of what He's asking me to do. And there have been seasons where it has been silent, and that is hard. And I was not sure what to do. And when I didn't know what to do, I just kept saying yes. I just kept saying yes, even though I wasn't sure. Even when I didn't feel like enough or that I knew enough, I kept saying yes. And for a woman who has struggled, I think about our team. We have all had years of ups and downs. There has been deaths and if babies. We literally call them if babies. And there's been postpartum depression and there's been anxiety and there's been all these things. But as we've all kept showing up for each other, as we've all kept showing up for this thing that we got to do together every year, the Lord has used it to change us and convict us and challenge us. And every time we lean in, He shows up and He shows off. And we are just so grateful to be a part of it.